In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new ASICS Glideride Max. We're going to be finding out if it truly is a super trainer, how it stacks up against the Super Blast 2, and whether you should be spending £160 of your own money on it. Hello everybody and welcome to FORDY Runs. My name is Chris Ford. I'm a running coach and athletics coach based here in the UK. And when I'm not coaching runners, I'm making YouTube videos about running and running shoes. And today we're going to be talking about these, the ASICS Glideride Max. Now, if you are new to FORDY Runs, years and years ago, I pushed very hard the ASICS Glideride, this shoe, because it was phenomenal. It is actually still to this day one of my favourite running shoes of all time. Why was that? Well, for me as somebody who was doing, my first few marathons, things like that, it was a shoe that I was able to do long runs in. I ran a marathon in this shoe, but it gave me some stability, it gave me some confidence to run long, it gave me comfort, and it just worked really, really well for me. And that's why I love this shoe so much. And since then, we've had version 2 and 3, and they've been, well, okay, but not brilliant. And then basically ASICS kind of discontinued the Glideride lineup. And I kind of get it, because it was a shoe that in version 3 it lost its way a little bit. You'd probably go, again, Super Blast or a different direction. But they have brought it back, and this is the Glideride Max. So in this video, we're going to talk about the stats and features. We're going to talk about things I like and things I don't like. We're going to talk about the shoes it goes up against. I'm also going to talk a little bit about how it would fit into your rotation. And then we're going to wrap it all up at the end, and I'm going to let you know whether you should buy the Glideride Max. Okay, so before we carry on, you know it's coming. Have you subscribed to this YouTube channel? No? Well, we're trying to get to 22 million subscribers on this channel. So I need you to all stop what you're doing and hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. Next up, you need to watch this disclaimer. Right, so that's my arse covered. Let's crack on with the stats and features. Okay, so the Glideride Max is £160. This is a UK 9.5 and it fits true to size for me. We've got a dual layer setup in the foam. We've got Flight Foam Blast Max, which is a softer foam. We'll come on to that. And then below that, we've got the Flight Foam Blast Plus Eco. Carried over from Glideride 3, we've got the Guide Sole technology, which is the rockered sole design. I'll show you that. We do have a plate in it. I'm going to use the word plate loosely. It's a compressed EVA piece that's inserted into the shoe. It has a 6mm drop, this shoe, with a 14.4mm stack in the heel down to 38. We've got an engineered mesh upper. We've got the hybrid ASICS grip outsole. The shoe weighs 257 grams, 9.1 ounces, and that's about that. Right, so let's take a closer look at this shoe. So this week I've been running in the Glideride Max. If you go over to my Strava profile, you'll see all the miles that I run. It's all there for everybody to look, but I've done a week of mileage in the shoe. Obviously, if you didn't know, I'm coming back from Berlin Marathon. I've got the Manchester half, and I've got the Yorkshire Marathon still to come, so just as a sort of where I'm at in terms of my running. But yeah, week of running in the shoe. So here's the dual layer setup. So along here we've got the softer Flight Foam Blast Max. This is the top layer here. Then underneath here you've got the Eco Plus, the Flight Foam Blast Eco Plus, which is in a lot of the ASICS shoes. Then you've got up here, you've got that compressed EVA plate. Now some people said it's a plastic plate. It's not. It's a compressed EVA piece that's been inserted. That's to help with the toe off and the stability of the shoe. The previous version, the Glideride 1, has got this plastic plate in it. See that? That's an actual plastic plate. Again, it's not there really to help with propulsion. It's more to aid with stability, increase the toe off effect a little bit with the rocker, and we'll come on to that with the new shoe. But see the plastic plate there? Well, this shoe has got an EVA, compressed EVA piece in the shoe. So yes, this has got the guide sole technology. It's not as aggressive as the other shoe. If you look at the two toe sort of heights, look at that, that's quite aggressive. It's a little bit less aggressive. But the guide sole technology is there to decrease ankle flexion, so reduce the energy wasted in the ankle, but also to help with that sort of motion from heel to toe. Heel to toe? Yeah, heel to toe. Be great if I scripted these videos. But yeah, heel to toe, and to sort of move you smoothly through your transition, and to help with that toe off, with that slightly rockered forefoot. The engineered mesh upper is lovely. You've got some real nice laces in the shoe, and comfort is absolutely spot on for this shoe. There's the outsole, the ASICS, what's it called now? ASICS hybrid grip, or whatever they've called it. which is questionable, and I'll come on to that. In terms of stability, it's wide enough so you're getting a nice stable ride with the shoe, which was always one of the positives of the original. Lockdown works okay in terms of, like I said, the laces are good, but the overall lockdown's good and it fits well, being a UK 9.5 for me. That's pretty much it in terms of what's going on with the shoe. So let's talk about briefly where this sort of shoe goes up against. Because for me, it's not a super trainer. I don't know where people are coming from when calling it a super trainer. Super trainer for me would have some form of like carbon plate in it, maybe like a TPU plate in it. So I think along the lines of the Boston 12, the Hyperion Max 2, even as extreme as the SC Trainer 3. These are shoes that have got premium foams in there and premium plates. You can take them into race day. I would not take this into race day. Now don't get me wrong, I wore a pair of these at the Chelmsford Marathon, but shoes have massively advanced since those days, so I would not classify the Glideride Max as a super trainer. I would say this is more a max stack daily trainer shoe, right? So I want you to think Saucony Hurricane 24, Brooks Glycerine Max. For me, they're the sort of shoes it goes up against. Okay, so now where would this fit into a rotation? Now this is a funny shoe, right? Because it's sort of sits between the Super Blast, or Super Blast 2, and your Nimbus. So where would it sit in a rotation? So for me, this is a shoe that would sit above that sort of up-tempo daily trainer. So let's say you've got the Rebel V4 and you're doing, you know, your daily miles and some of your quicker workout stuff in, and then you do have your super trainer that can do those longer miles with goal pace. You can race in it, you know, you can do those faster workouts in it as well. I think this would sit in the middle of those. Is this a good shoe to have if you can only afford one shoe? I'd probably say no. I think you'd be better off in something like a 1080 version 14, which is just a little bit more versatile. Okay, so that's the rotation sort of bit out of the way. Let's move on to the things I like and the things I don't like. I like the comfort, I like the stability, I like the upper, I like Flight Foam Blast Max, I like the weight, and I like the heel to toe drop of 6mm. That works well for me. I like the overall fit, and I don't mind £160. Things I don't like. I don't like the outsole. It's very sketchy at best. The ride's boring. It's not really a long run cruiser. It's not really a daily trainer. And fundamentally, I'm not really sure I like the look of it. And I also don't like the fact that I'm really confused as to why this sort of shoe has been bought out and what they're doing with it. Right, so let's sum this up. So look, don't get me wrong, I like the Flight Foam Blast Max. I think that's a softer, nicer feeling foam that works well with the Flight Foam Blast Eco below it. I love the Glideride and I like the stable ride. I think this would work well for bigger runners who are after a stable daily trainer, because I think you'll get a firmish kind of ride with this bottom layer, and then you'll get some comfort and softness and lovingness from the Flight Foam Blast Max. But I just don't simply see why you would buy the shoe. I'd much rather own the 1080 version 14. It's just a softer, nicer feeling shoe and much more versatile. I can do daily miles in it. I can go a little bit longer in it. I could do, yeah, just cruise about and just have a nice time in it. Or I would go the other extreme and I'd buy these, the Glycerine Max. Bigger shoe, long runs, comfort. You know, overall, it's just a much better feeling shoe that's got a purpose. The Glideride Max lacks purpose. I don't know why you would buy it. I really don't. The only thing, as I said, that I can make any sense of, if you're a bigger dude or a dudess, this may work for you as a daily trainer. But other than that, I don't see any point buying it. I would sway you towards the 1080, maybe even the Hurricane 24. And if you want to go max stack, then you go the Glycerine Max or even the Mag Max from Puma, which is a phenomenal shoe. And that brings me back to these, because this shoe was quite unique in its day. It only sort of served a certain person, which was me. And it was phenomenal. But I think the evolution of running shoes, the new max stack daily trainers, your max stack comfort shoes, your up-tempo daily trainers, your long run focused shoes, your super trainers, all those shoes have now flooded the market. And sadly, this shoe doesn't really have a place anymore, which is a shame, because this version 1, still I think is one of the best shoes ever made. But sadly, Glideride Max I don't think is the shoe that we'd hoped it would be. There's nothing wrong here, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad shoe. It's extremely comfortable. It's extremely stable. But I just think in the world that we live in with so many shoes out there, I think there's certain alternatives in a select sort of lane in which you wanted to go with your running shoes. Like I said, daily trainer, you go something maybe a little bit more up tempo, you go a little bit more cushioned with a 1080. If you want something a little bit more long runny, you go with like a Glycerine Max or a Hurricane 24, which is smoother and really stable. If you do want super trainer, you go Hyperion Max 2 or Boston 12. Or if you've got as much money as Hayden, you buy the SC Trainer version 3. So there's no real point to the Glideride Max, which is a shame, because I think what ASICS really needed to do was something completely different with it. Now I know they've tried, they pumped up the stack and they put a new foam in it and all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. But if you look what Brooks did with the DNA tune, they've really come with a new compound, something exciting. This is just boring EVA again, which is slightly softer, and it's not very interesting. So there we go, people. Yeah, it's a real shame. Again, just to be absolutely clear, there's nothing wrong with the shoe, and I think a lot of you will like it, but I don't think it hits the mark as well as version 1 did. So there we go. Let me know in the comments whether you've got the Glideride Max, what you think about it, how many miles have you been racking up in it. I'm sure it'll last for a long time. And like I said, the version 1 was like a tank and went for hundreds and hundreds of miles, and I'm sure Glideride Max will do the same, because ASICS shoes are built very well and they do last a long time. They fit well and they're made well and they last well. But yes, Glideride Max for me, I'd much rather be in something else. Hopefully I made that clear. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave me today. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. I'll catch you all later.